Good evening. I am Sharon from MBA section, register number 37. Today I want to speak about a case that happened recently uh, about a Dalit woman that happened. This incident happened in Kerala. So, Bindu, a 39-year-old Dalit woman working as a maid in Tiruvananthapuram, alleged custodial harassment by police in Thiruvananthapuram police station on April 23rd. She was detained overnight based on a false complaint by her employee, Umana Davis, who accused her for stealing a gold chain. Bindu claimed that police abused her, threatened her to frame her daughters, and denied her food and water. Despite the employee later confirming that the gold chain was found in the house itself, a police officer warned Bindu to stay out of the locality. She submitted a petition to the chief minister's political secretary, uh, whose name was P. Shashi, but she alleged inaction from the chief minister's office. The issue escalated into a mm, major controversy, leading to a suspension of a sub inspector. The Kerala State Human Rights Commission ordered an investigation, and the opposition parties staged protests accusing the CPM government of an anti-Dalit and anti-woman stance. The case involves potential violation of several legal protections for Dalit under Indian law, as well as constitutional and penal provisions. Firstly, Scheduled Castes and Scheduled Tribes Act 1989. This act criminalizes acts of discrimination, violence, and humiliations against SC/STs, including wrongful confinement, abuse, and denial of basic rights based on caste. Violations in this case being a Dalit woman alleged verbal abuse and humiliation by police, including being told to drink water from a toilet. Such degrading treatment constitutes an offense. Also, detaining Bindu for over 20 hours, despite the employee confirming the recovery of the gold chain, suggests wrongful confinement. The police's harsh treatment and refusal to release her promptly, even after the complaint was resolved, may indicate caste based bias, violating the POA Act's intent to prevent discrimination against Dalit. Secondly, Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. The PCR Act, enacted under Article 17 of the Constitution, prohibits untouchability and related practices, including denial of access to public facilities or services based on caste. Forcing Bindu to drink water from a toilet is a dehumanizing act that could be interpreted as enforcing untouchability or social disability based on her caste, violating Section 4 of the PCR Act. If the police's actions were influenced by her Dalit identity, this would constitute a practice of untouchability, as it subjects her to different treatment in a public facility, which is a police station. Thirdly, Article 17 of the Indian Constitution. This article abolishes untouchability and forbids its practices in any form, ensuring equality and dignity for all citizens, particularly marginalized groups like Dalits. The alleged abusive treatment and denial of basic needs, which is food and water, to the victim in custody undermines her dignity and equality, violating the spirit of Article 17. The act of humiliating her by suggesting that she drinks water from a toilet is direct affront to the constitutional prohibition of untouchability. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution. This article guarantees the right to life and personal liberty, which includes the right to live with dignity and protection from inhumane treatment. It also implicitly protects a person's reputation and dignity. Denying this lady food and water, subjecting her to verbal abuse, and forcing her to drink toilet water violates her right to dignity and inhuman treatment under Article 21. Keeping her in custody for over 20 hours without justifiable cause, even after the complaint was resolved, infringes on her personal liberty. The false accusation of theft and the police's threats to frame her daughters tarnish her reputation, violating her right to live with dignity as protected under Article 21. Section 499 and 500 of the Indian Penal Code. Section 499 defines defamation as any act that harms a person's reputation through words, signs, or visible representations with intent to cause harm. Section 500 prescribes punishment for defamation. The initial complaint of gold theft by Bindu's employer, which was later disproved, potentially constitutes defamation under Section 499, as it harmed her reputation and her dignity. The police officials' warning to not be seen in the locality itself and threats to defame her daughters further damage her reputation and social standing, potentially actionable under Section 499 and 500. Other constitutional safeguards include Article 46, which mandates the state to promote the welfare of scheduled castes and protect them from social injustice. The inaction of the Chief Minister's office, as alleged by Bindu, the police conduct suggests a failure to uphold this constitutional obligation. Article 399 focuses on scheduled areas. It reflects the state's broader responsibility to protect SC/ST communities. The failure to address Bindu's petition promptly indicates a lapse in ensuring justice for a Dalit woman. The Constitution Bill 2019 126th Amendment pertains to reservations for SC/ST communities. It underscores the state's commitment to the welfare of these communities. The case highlights systematic issues such as alleged inaction by the Chief Minister's office, the police, and all the officials, which undermines the broader goal of uplifting marginalized communities like Dalits. The case of Bindu reflects multiple violations of her rights as a Dalit woman, particularly and under the POA Act, PCR Act, and constitutional provisions like Article 17 and 21. The alleged custodial harassment, inhuman treatment, wrongful detention, and defamation based on a false theft accusation constitute serious breaches of legal protection designed to safeguard Dalits from discrimination and ensure their dignity. The inaction of the Chief Minister's office further aggravates the situation, pointing to a failure in upholding the constitutional and statutory obligations. The suspension of the sub-inspector and the Human Rights Commission inquiry are steps towards accountability, but the case underscores systematic challenges in protecting the Dalits. While seeing such acts that are happening throughout our country, it is our responsibility as students and as citizens of the country to address these issues and stand up for people who are marginalized. We as people who are educated, we should be able to voice out our opinion and spread awareness of people's rights. So this Dalit woman, she was bold enough to voice for herself, and that makes a lot of difference. To stand up for yourself or to stand up for a marginalized community would make a lot of difference in confirming your rights and demanding your rights that the state holds for you. That's my case and the acts that were violated in this case. Thank you.